I swear I could hear someone breathing just outside the living room window. The sensation jangled my nerves so fiercely that I nearly dropped my phone. No preamble, no gentle introduction. My heart hammered in my chest from the moment I stepped into this house tonight. I'm Daniela Moreno, a 23-year-old college dropout who picks up babysitting gigs in this affluent neighborhood to keep the lights on. The job sounded easy enough. Watch Lily, a 4-year-old who falls asleep by 8, then wait for her parents to return from their charity gala around midnight. Good money, minimal effort, that was the pitch. So why do I feel cornered the second I shut the front door? Let's get one thing straight. I'm not skittish by nature. I've got a mouth that could strip paint off a wall and an attitude to match. Sarcasm is my shield. But something about walking into the Anders' sprawling suburban home tonight left a bitter taste in my mouth. Maybe it's the enormous windows that make me feel like I'm on display. Maybe it's the memory of that note taped to my windshield last week, the one that only read, "I like how you smile." It's easy to ignore small red flags when you're broke, but I'm at my limit. My cell buzzes in my hand. No number. Shown. That same glitchy blank caller ID I've been getting for days. As soon as I pick up, static greets me. Then a whisper. Tell me your secrets. The line goes dead before I can even hurl a stream of profanities at whoever's on the other end. I force a laugh. More for my own benefit than anything else. Secrets? Sure. My biggest secret is I can't afford to ditch this gig, you creep. That's what I want to say into the silent phone. Instead, I shove it into my jacket pocket and head upstairs to check on Lily. She's dozing peacefully in her pink comforter, a stuffed rabbit clutched tight in her small fists. The bedroom nightlight casts gentle shapes on the ceiling. Watching her sleep reminds me why I'm here. That hush, that childlike innocence, all under my care for a handful of hours. I won't let some cowardly weirdo ruin my paycheck. On my way back down, the doorbell rings, a single chime echoing through the silent house. If I've learned anything from cheap horror flicks, it's that you never open the door when you're alone. But real life rarely comes with the option to hide, under the bed. I tiptoe to the foyer, adrenaline buzzing. Through the frosted glass, I see a shadow, a lean shape. No movement, no second ring. In a strange burst of courage, I throw the door open, expecting to confront some jerk with a phone in hand. Instead, I find nothing. Not even footprints on the porch tile. My gaze flicks downward. A small envelope stares up at me from the doormat. Its surface reflects the porch light, waxy and thick. A single word scrawled in black marker. Danny. I sniff the air, half expecting cologne or something. Instead, all I smell is the crisp night. My instincts scream to toss this thing. But curiosity wins. I tear the envelope open, unveiling a white cardstock note with bold letters. I love watching you. It's better when you're afraid. My throat tightens, but I refuse to let fear paralyze me. The hair on my arms stands at attention as I step back inside and lock the door. This is my life now. Some psycho with time to spare is messing with me, and I can't afford to walk away. I flip every lock, the chain, the deadbolt, even drag a chair against the handle for good measure. My phone in hand, I scroll through my contacts, ready to call the Anders if this escalates. But before I can dial, the living room window rattles. A gentle tap. Then again. Is it the wind, or that same shadow from before? Tonight was supposed to be routine. Put Lily to bed, watch bad reality TV, collect my cash. Instead, I'm left swallowing dread, waiting for the next move. And something tells me this is just the beginning. I might as well admit it now. Fear tastes like copper in my mouth, like I bit my lip too hard. I'm huddled behind the sofa, glaring at the large windows that turn this home into a showcase. The curtains are sheer, a fashionable design choice, the Anders probably found on some decor blog. but they may as well be non-existent. The note's message loops in my head. It's better when you're afraid. Great. My personal brand of lunatic apparently thrives on my panic. The logic is simple. I can't give him the satisfaction of seeing me lose my mind. But adrenaline doesn't exactly cooperate with logic. When my phone vibrates this time, the caller is just listed as unknown. I answer, heart pounding. Silence, except for the faintest breath. I force myself to speak in my usual harsh tone. I don't know who you are, but if you come near me or Lily, you'll need a surgeon to remove my foot from your... A click. They hang up. So much for witty comebacks. The rational side of me says to call the cops. But I hesitate. Yes, officer, it's me, the broke college dropout who gets weird calls from a blocked number, and an anonymous note that says some creep likes my terror. Will they take me seriously? Probably not. Or they'll show up, do a routine sweep, and scare away whoever's outside, only for him to come back tomorrow. I shuffle along the perimeter of the living room, flipping off every light switch. Darkness is my ally. If this stalker wants to watch me, I won't make it easy by standing in a well-lit fishbowl. Suddenly, Lily's voice crackles through the baby monitor perched on the coffee table. She's awake. I freeze, hearing small footsteps upstairs. My protective instincts overshadow everything else. I slip upstairs on light feet, determined not to let my fear taint her sense of safety. Lily rubs her eyes, standing at the threshold of her bedroom. I thought I heard you talking, she murmurs, her small voice groggy. Just grown-up stuff, I say, my voice steady. Let's get you back to bed. She nods, trusting, and pads back into the room. For a moment, everything feels normal. Tucking a child into bed, adjusting her blankets, brushing hair from her face. Then a new sound emerges, a subtle thump from somewhere below. My heart thrums in my ribcage, but I maintain a calm facade for Lily. Stay here, I whisper, closing her door. My pulse echoes in my ears as I tiptoe downstairs. The thump came from the kitchen, I'm sure of it. The overhead lights remain off, but the faint moonlight outlines the counters and the fridge. By the window over the sink, the curtain flutters. I creep forward, expecting to see some sign of forced entry, a broken pane, a rattling lock. Instead, the window is intact, but wide open. Cold night air seeps in. My arm muscles tense as I slide it shut. Did I forget to check it earlier? Or is my unwelcome guest toying with me? If he's brazen enough to open a window, maybe he's already inside. I do a quick search, flipping on lights now that I've closed the drapes in the kitchen. No footprints, no signs of a scuffle. My phone remains in my pocket. Every nerve in my body screams to call the parents, the police, or someone. Still, a twisted logic keeps me from making that call. Maybe I'm scared they'll blame me for not securing the house. Maybe I'm terrified of looking incompetent. Either way, if this psycho wants a game, I'll give it to him on my terms. I hurry back to the foyer, checking the locks yet again. That's when I notice a faint scuff mark on the hardwood floor near the front door. Curled next to it is a piece of string, red, frayed at the ends. I swallow hard, picking it up with trembling fingers. It's short, just a few inches, but it wasn't there when I locked everything earlier. Upstairs, Lily's lullaby music drifts softly through the hall. That's my anchor. I can't afford to lose it. I stuff the red string in my pocket and bolt upstairs to confirm Lily's still, safe. She's sound asleep once more, her nightlight painting pink stars on the ceiling. She's utterly unaware that a stranger might be prowling the house. Good. Let her dream peacefully, if only for now. Downstairs again, I slump onto the sofa, the phone clutched tight in my hand. My gaze drifts to the note on the table. I can't stop reading those words. better when you're afraid. Part of me wants to incinerate that stupid paper. Another part wants to preserve it as evidence. If everything escalates, I'll need proof this isn't just in my head. And in the silence, one realization crystallizes in my mind. Lily's safety. No matter what I have to do, I will not let her become a pawn in some twisted game. If that means facing this threat head-on, so be it. I have to outsmart a creep on my own turf. Well, the Anders turf. But you get the point. I check every window, every door, every shadow. My heart clenches whenever I think I see movement outside. But each time I look closer, I'm greeted by emptiness. My gaze settles on the mantel clock, 9:04 p.m. Barely an hour since I arrived. It feels like a lifetime. The parents aren't due back until midnight, maybe later if their gala runs long. That leaves me at least 3 hours in this pressure cooker. I move to the kitchen, rummaging through drawers for something, anything, I can use as a weapon. A dull steak knife is the best I find. The Anders keep a pristine, minimalistic house. No baseball bats by the door, no decorative canes leaning in a corner. Armed with a knife that's only slightly more useful than a butter spreader, I return to the living room. Every board in the floor squeaks beneath my weight, marking my path. The phone remains at full volume in my pocket. If it rings, I'm answering. At this point, I'd rather provoke him than hide in silence. A faint reflection in the TV screen shows me, knife in hand, jaw set. I look like someone spoiling for a fight. Maybe I am, because if this freak wants to break in, he'll have to deal with me first. Then it happens. The baby monitor crackles. Lily is crying. I rush upstairs, bracing for the worst. When I enter her room, she's sitting up, tears on her cheeks. "I heard someone," she whimpers. "They were talking." My arms goosebump. "Talking? Where?" She points at her closet door. It's closed, the brass knob gleaming under the nightlight. I approach it slowly, flick the switch inside. Nothing but her clothes on pink hangers, a few boxes of toys. That's it. No sign of forced entry or a hiding spot large enough for an adult to squeeze into. "Just a dream, Lily," I say, trying to sound soothing. "Nightmares happen sometimes." She sniffles. It was a man's voice. My blood runs cold, but I give her a reassuring pat. I promise there's nobody here. I help her lie down again, gently stroking her hair. "I'm right downstairs. If you hear anything else, call me." She nods, eyes wide with lingering fear. I wish I could steal that fear from her, lock it away so she never has to feel it again. But in reality, I can barely tame my own. I close her door quietly, stepping into the hallway. My phone buzzes. Finally, Anders' name on the caller ID. Relief surges in my chest. I slide to answer. "Danny, everything okay?" Mrs. Anders asks. There's a noisy crowd in the background. I fight to keep my voice steady. "Yeah, Lily woke up from a nightmare, but she's settled. Enjoy your gala." "Oh, good. We might run a bit late. The silent auction took longer than expected." My thoughts swirl with reasons to beg them to come home now, but I swallow them. "No problem. See you when you get here." I hang up, cursing my pride. Should I have told them the truth? But I can't stand the thought of looking incapable. I need the money, and if they think I'm jumpy or incompetent, they'll hire someone else next time. Then I'm back to unpaid bills and hustling for scraps. By the time I descend the stairs, again, my phone vibrates with another call, unknown, just like before. My pulse thunders. I press answer without speaking. For a few seconds, I hear only static. Then the same voice, raspy and low. "She told you about my voice. You shouldn't have said it was a dream." Before I can curse at him, the line disconnects. My hand trembles around the phone. Lily did hear something. A man's voice in her closet. He's in the house. That's my only explanation. I flick on every light in the hallway, scanning each door, each crack in the walls. Tension tightens every muscle in my neck. This asshole had the audacity to speak within earshot of Lily, to stand near her at her most vulnerable. The knife in my hand feels heavier now. I steel myself. The time for passivity is over. 3 times I've swept through this house, opening closets, checking under beds, even yanking back the shower curtain in the master bathroom. My heart's a relentless drumbeat, but I find no intruder. If he's still here, he's hidden better than any closet. I grab my phone, already half dialing 911. The screen lights my face, and for a moment, I see my reflection in the glass. I look pale, eyes wild. But I haven't pressed call yet. My pride is a stubborn beast, but something else stops me too. The terrifying possibility that the police might show up, not find anyone, and leave me with nothing resolved. Then I'd be stuck here with Lily, waiting for another silent intrusion. I turn on every downstairs lamp. Let him watch me in full illumination if he's outside. I scrawl a quick text to my friend Bryn, my closest buddy who lives a few blocks away, asking if she's awake. Bryn's known for last-minute bartending shifts, so maybe she can swing by. But her read receipt never comes. Screw it. I can't rely on anyone else tonight. A flicker in the front window catches my eye. Movement. I lower the blinds, but not before glimpsing a tall shape slip behind a parked SUV. I press my face close to the crack between the curtains. My breaths come in ragged bursts. The shape steps into the streetlight for just a second, then disappears, again into shadow. I scramble to the back door, ensuring it's bolted. Then I freeze. On the doormat inside is another envelope, just like the first. How the hell did he place it there without me hearing the door open? I lean down, snatch it, rip it open. A Polaroid photo slides out. My stomach clenches at the sight. It's me from maybe an hour ago, standing at the very spot where I found the first envelope, staring down at it. In the picture, I look terrified. The angle suggests it was taken from behind the bushes across the street. A second Polaroid is tucked behind it. Lily, visible through the living room window as she walked across the hallway upstairs. The timestamp on the bottom corner reads only minutes ago. She's just a blur of pink pajamas and brown hair, but it's undeniably her. My vision tunnels. He's photographing us in real time. Rage battles with panic. I want to run out there with the knife, chase him down, and end this twisted game, but logic keeps my feet planted. Lily comes first. I rush upstairs to confirm she's still there. She's asleep, her chest rising and falling in a steady rhythm. For a fleeting moment, I consider waking her and trying to escape. But is it safer? Out there in the dark streets or in here with locked doors? Eventually, I step back into the hall. I crouch down near the staircase, positioning myself where I can see both ends of the house. My phone in a white-knuckle grip, the knife balanced on my thigh. I wait. Adrenaline surges through my veins. I'm so tense I could snap. Minutes crawl by. The only sound is the quiet hum of the refrigerator downstairs and Lily's lullaby drifting through the monitor. My eyelids sting from not blinking enough. The clock ticks, 9:40 p.m. A feeling crawls under my skin. He's still here, or at least close by. Then the phone rings again. Unknown. Accepting the call, I cling to my rage. "You sick freak, I swear I'll..." He cuts me off with a cold chuckle. "I love when you're angry. Keep that fire. It'll make this more fun." My voice shakes. "You come near this kid and I'll tear you apart." A short silence. "I'm not here for the kid," he whispers. "I'm here for you." I want to scream 1,000 threats, but my throat locks up. Then the line goes dead. My heart hammers so violently that I press a hand to my chest, certain I might pass out. I pull the phone away from my ear, and that's when I notice the call timer is still going, like the line hasn't fully disconnected. I listen closely. Barely audible breathing drifts through the speaker. He's toying with me, letting me think the call ended. I end it myself, tossing the phone onto the carpet. My mind churns over every possible strategy. Call the cops? Grab Lily? Run to the neighbors? Wait it out? The fear is suffocating, but the fury in my veins keeps me functioning. He said he's not here for Lily. That's a small relief, but also horrifying. He wants me, and he's already gotten inside at least once. He might be inside right now. I remember the red string, the open kitchen window, the scuff mark. A part of me wonders if he's found some hidden crawl space or attic. Another part screams that I'm already too late, that he's in the next room waiting, savoring my panic. I can't let him play puppet master any longer. I've never been the type to roll over. If he wants to rattle me, he'll have to do more than drop notes and pictures at my feet. Crouched in the hallway, I hatch a plan. At the very least, I can force him to reveal himself. I retrieve Lily's baby monitor receiver, carry it with me, and quietly slip into the master bedroom. There's a walk-in closet with a narrow door leading to the attic. The Anders never mentioned storing anything up there, but it's a potential hiding spot. I swallow a lump of dread as I open the closet door. My free hand grips the knife so tightly my knuckles ache. It takes me a second to locate the attic's pull-down ladder. I yank the cord, bracing for someone to leap out, but nothing moves. The ladder creaks as I unfold it. I climb, each rung groaning under my weight. My phone's flashlight illuminates swirling dust motes. The air is thick and stale, probably full of insulation. I wave the light around, scanning the attic. It's mostly empty, except for a few cardboard boxes near the far wall. Heart thumping, I approach them. The stench of musty fabric and old paper hits my nose. Nothing jumps out. The entire attic is maybe 15 feet wide, beams crisscrossing overhead. No sign of a person. I exhale a shaky breath. So he's not here. Another idea. Check the garage. The Anders have a detached garage accessible through the backyard. If he's waiting, he could be lurking around there. I descend the attic ladder and slip outside, minding the squeaky back door. The night air is crisp, crickets chirping in the distance. The motion sensor floodlight pops on, illuminating the yard. My eyes flick to the fence line. Shadows shift as the wind rustles tree branches overhead. The garage door is locked. I fumble for the spare key the Anders keep in a fake rock by the garden. I manage to open the side door, stepping inside. The overhead light flickers to life, revealing two cars, Mr. Anders' vintage convertible and Mrs. Anders' SUV. Tools line the walls, each meticulously arranged. This place is as neat as the house. No sign of forced entry. I scan the corner shelves. Boxes labeled holiday decor. A stack of spare tires, various gardening tools. Nothing that screams hidden intruder. My shoulders slump. A part of me hoped I'd catch him red-handed, call the cops, end this nightmare. Suddenly, my phone buzzes in my pocket. My heart leaps, thinking it could be the Anders or Bryn. But no, unknown. Again. I answer on the third ring, letting my anger run wild. What do you want from me? Soft laughter. Then, you're quite thorough, but you missed something inside. My stomach twists. He's been watching me, tracking my movements even in the backyard. You're a coward, I snarl. He ignores the insult. Come back inside, Danny. Check the living room rug. The call drops. My entire body goes cold. The living room rug, where I was just crouched, checking my phone, scanning the outside. What did he leave there? I sprint across the yard, not caring if he sees my desperate run under the floodlight. I burst in through the back door, rush into the living room. The overhead lights are still on, revealing the plush white rug by the coffee table. At first glance, nothing appears out of place. Then I see it. A black box, small enough to fit in a coat pocket, resting near the sofa leg. I approach with caution, knife in hand. The box has a single piece of tape sealing it shut, no label or note. My skin prickles as I kneel. With trembling fingers, I peel the tape. Inside is a cheap cell phone. Its screen lights up the moment I open the box, showing a paused video. I don't want to press play, but I have to. My stomach clenches as I tap the screen. The video shows me from behind, sitting on the sofa earlier tonight. The angle suggests the camera was placed on a shelf or end table. It's definitely the Anders' living room, right after I first got Lily to bed. I watch myself stand, walk toward the window, phone in hand. Then the camera pans on its own, as if someone is carrying it, walking behind me. My hands clamp over my mouth. This footage implies he was inside with me, only a few feet away, filming me while I was oblivious. I check the timestamp. About 45 minutes ago. The phone's battery icon flashes red. A text notification pops onto the screen from a contact simply named me. Without thinking, I tap it. The text reads, "Look behind you." A chill crawls up my spine. I wheel around, knife raised. The living room is empty. No sign of a shadow or a figure lurking behind me. The windows remain locked. The door is chained. How? A wave of dizziness sweeps over me. Did I black out? Have I been moving around this house without remembering? I recall losing track of time earlier, but I blamed adrenaline. Now I'm not so sure. The idea that I could be manipulated, that I might have done something while in a fugue state, terrifies me more than any intruder could. I set the black phone on the coffee table, swallowing hard. If he can creep in here and plant a phone, film me vanish, then he has a method, a plan, an obsession, and I'm caught in his crosshairs. I've never felt so cornered in my life. But if he's playing cat and mouse, he's about to discover that this mouse bites back. The baby monitor crackles again, drawing me away from that horrifying video. Lily's quiet breathing filters through, punctuated by a soft sniffle. I lean closer to the speaker, dread rising. She says, "I'm scared," in a hushed tone. Race upstairs, mind spinning with the video's implications, and find Lily awake, tears glittering in her eyes. She clutches her stuffed rabbit. I lower myself next to her bed, wiping a tear from her cheek. "Did you hear something again?" I ask, voice controlled for her sake. I heard footsteps in the hallway, and someone whispering my name. She glances at the crack under her door, as if expecting a monster to materialize. A fierce protectiveness flares inside me. "Nobody's going to hurt you." I try to sound confident, but my insides are in turmoil. "Close your eyes, okay? I'll be right outside your door." She nods, though her little fingers tremble around the plush toy. Once she settles back down, I ease into the hallway, planting myself next to her door like a human shield. The silence presses in, broken only by the hum of the air conditioning. I recall the phone footage. Me, filmed from behind. If he could do that, then he might have come upstairs too. I heard footsteps in the hallway. Lily heard them. She never lies. My teeth clench so hard my jaw aches. I consider moving her to the master bedroom, barricading us both in. But a shrill beep from my phone interrupts my plan. Another text from unknown. "I see you. Are you ready to talk?" My hands shake with fury. If I engage, maybe I can buy time, or maybe I can trap him. Me, texting back. "Show your face. Enough games." Unknown. Where's the fun in that? I press a hand to my forehead. I need to do something. Radical. This standstill isn't in my favor. An idea sparks. The Anders have a security system panel in the foyer closet. I remember them telling me about motion detectors, though they rarely arm the system. If I turn them on, maybe I can corner him if he tries to move around inside. I stand, casting one last glance at Lily's door, then make my way to the foyer closet. There it is, a touchscreen on the wall with instructions for arming sensors. I input the code the Anders gave me once, half expecting an error. But it accepts. Beep, beep, beep. And a 60-second countdown to activation appears. Nerves tighten as I watch those seconds tick away. Did he see me do that? Is he going to slip outside before the alarm sets? Part of me hopes so, just to get him out of the house. But if he remains inside once the system activates, any movement in the living room or hallway will trigger an ear-piercing siren. The countdown finishes. The system displays armed stay. I inch back to Lily's room, where I can see both the stairs and the hallway sensor. A minute passes, then 2. The hush is suffocating. Then the foyer sensor light flickers red, indicating motion. My stomach knots as the alarm system starts its high-pitched wail, echoing through every corner of the house. He's moving. I bolt to the stairs, scanning below for any sign of him. The living room lights are on, furniture casting long shadows that dance under the strobe-like flash of the alarm's indicator. I spot the silhouette of a man near the front door. Tall, wearing dark clothes, face shielded by a hoodie. He tries the doorknob, but I lock the chain. He fumbles in his pockets. The siren is deafening. Lily is surely awake again, and I'm halfway down the stairs when I lock eyes with him. He sees me. Time slows. My heart thuds against my rib cage. The parted lips under that hood show a twisted grin. He raises a gloved hand. He's holding something small, metallic. A pair of pliers? Before I can react, he dashes toward the living room window. To my shock, he punches the glass with an elbow wrapped in a thick sleeve. It cracks, spiderwebbing under the force. Another strike, and shards cascade onto the rug. He dives through, disappearing into the night. The alarm continues screaming. I rush forward, nearly slipping on broken glass. By the time I stick my head out the shattered window, he's gone. Just a faint movement across the yard, vaulting the fence with shocking agility. I slump against the wall, panting. The night air cools the sweat on my forehead, the siren still, howling behind me. At least he's out of the house. That's one victory. But I'm not naive enough to celebrate. The look in his eyes said this wasn't over. My phone's screen lights up again, but I ignore it for now. I must turn off the alarm, calm Lily, and call the police. This has escalated to pure madness. I kill the alarm, and an almost painful silence follows, punctuated by my ragged breathing. Lily is screaming upstairs, her cries of "Danny" wrenching my heart. I sprint to her room. She's in a corner, hugging her stuffed rabbit, tears streaming. I gather her into my arms. She clings to me, trembling. "What happened?" she manages between sobs. "It was just a loud noise, sweetie," I whisper, pushing hair out of her face. "We're okay now. You're safe." Her tears stain my shirt. I can't help but feel like a liar. We're not safe, but she's 4. She deserves comfort, not brutal honesty. Cradling her, I head to the master bedroom. I set Lily on the bed, stroke her back. My eyes dart to the door. Should I stay in here with her or try to do something else? The phone in my pocket vibrates again. "Hold on, Lily," I murmur, stepping into the ensuite bathroom to read the text. Unknown. Call the cops, and I'll send those videos to everyone you know. My blood runs hot. He took videos of me. Who knows what humiliating angles or moments he's captured. Maybe he spied on me changing, or rummaging through drawers, or worse. Is that his plan? To blackmail me into silence? I type with shaky fingers. Go to hell. Then I block the number, uncertain if that even matters. My reflection in the bathroom mirror is a pale ghost of me. Eyes rimmed with fear, hair tousled from panic. I have to keep it together, at least for Lily's sake. I rinse my face with cold water, the shock clearing my thoughts. Steps away, Lily sniffles on the bed. I return, scoop her into my arms again, and examine her big brown eyes. You want to sleep in here tonight? I ask softly. She nods, calmer now. Will you stay too? Of course. I close the bedroom door and lock it, hoping that will do some good if he tries something else. Inside, I rummage through Anders's bedside table. Luck, a landline phone. My breath catches. He can't block a landline. While Lily clutches my arm, I dial 911. My hands tremble, but I force myself to speak clearly when the operator answers. There's been an attempted break-in at 347 Oakview. The intruder smashed a window and fled. She asks if anyone's injured. No injuries, I reply. But he left behind threatening notes, and I'm babysitting a child. Her voice is steady. She says officers will be dispatched. Stay on the line if you feel unsafe, she adds. My thoughts drift to his last text. He threatened to release videos if I call the cops, but Lily's well-being outweighs my own embarrassment or fear. So what if he leaks some strange footage? I'm done letting him hold me hostage. I hang up, leading Lily into the master bathroom, which has no windows, the safest place I can think of. I lock that door too, propping a chair beneath the doorknob. The next 15 minutes feel interminable. Lily's soft sniffles subside as she leans against me, exhaustion in her eyes. Finally, I hear the faint whoop of sirens. Relief floods me like a drug. I stand, gently guiding Lily to remain in the bathroom. Don't come out until I say so, I whisper, pressing a reassuring kiss to her forehead. I head downstairs in time to see flashing blue lights outside the shattered window. 2 officers approach the front door. I open it, relief mingling with trepidation. The older cop, name tag reading Franklin, glances at the broken glass, then at me. Anyone hurt? No. My voice sounds small, but I force steadiness. He ran out the window when the alarm went off. I hand over the notes and Polaroids, explaining the phone footage. I show them the black phone, which has died by now. Franklin's partner, Keller, scrawls down details. They take a quick look around, snapping photos of the damage. I also mention the repeated calls from unknown. I blocked the number, but I have the text threats, I add, showing them the phone log. Franklin's face is grim. We'll file a report, but these guys can be tricky to pin down. Could be a stalker who's escalated. Have you had issues with anyone recently? I shake my head. Not that I know of. Just weird notes on my car. Maybe a brief argument with an ex, but nothing that screams violent home invasion. Keller sighs. We'll keep a cruiser outside for the rest of the night. Do a neighborhood sweep. Might want to call the homeowners. This damage will need securing. He and Franklin do a final walkthrough, checking each room. They recommend I keep the landline close, and they'll patrol the block. Then they leave, cautioning me to call immediately if he returns. I stare at the broken window. Glass crunches under my sneakers. For all the cops' presence, I'm not reassured. This man is cunning, bold enough to slip in unnoticed. A single cruiser outside might not stop him if he really wants in. Upstairs, Lily waits in the bathroom, hugging her rabbit. Her tear-stained face lights up a bit when she sees me. Is it over? She asks, hopeful. I force a smile. The police are here. They're making sure nothing bad happens. She's too tired to ask more questions. I cradle her in my lap, keeping the landline phone within reach. The child's breath slows, and soon she dozes off. I wish I could do the same, but my mind won't stop spinning. He's gone for now, but he'll be back. One question keeps gnawing at me. Why me? And a second, far more haunting thought. What if I'm not even aware of the whole truth? Midnight arrives. Lily stirs beside me, blinking awake. She still looks groggy, but at least she's no longer crying. I stroke her hair, telling her it's late, that her parents should be home soon. Outside, the cruiser's headlights sweep across the yard. Occasionally, I see a flashlight beam scanning the street. The cops are patrolling, but the house still feels contaminated by fear. Every corner might hold a secret camera or a memory of footsteps that shouldn't be there. I move to the hallway, phone in hand. My blocked call log remains empty, but I half expect a new trick up his sleeve. He's threatened me with releasing footage. Maybe he's waiting for a reaction. My eyes drift to the black phone in that box on the living room table. It's powered off now, the screen black. I pick it up, rummaging for a charger in the Anders drawers, but find none that fits. Figures. If there's more data on this device, I'm currently locked out. The roar of an engine in the driveway jolts me. Through the broken window, I spot the Anders car pulling in, headlights slicing across the living room. Relief wars with dread. I have to explain what happened. At least Lily's parents can take over now. Mr. Anders steps inside first, mouth agape at the shattered glass. Mrs. Anders follows, face going pale. "Danny, what on earth?" She sputters. "Someone broke in," I say, voice drained. "I called the police. Where's Lily?" Mr. Anders demands, scanning the room. "She's upstairs. She's unharmed," I assure him quickly. "I've been keeping her in the master bedroom bathroom to feel safe." He rushes upstairs. Mrs. Anders looks at me, eyes wide with alarm. "Are you all right? Did he hurt you?" "I'm fine," I lie, forcing a nod. "I'm sorry about the window. Once I set the alarm, he tried to escape." She closes her eyes, relief washing over her features at the news. Lily is okay. Then guilt flickers across her face. "This never happened before. We thought the neighborhood was safe. I'm so sorry, Danny." I wave off her apology. "He targeted me, I think. He was leaving notes. My voice cracks. He has pictures of me and Lily." The color drains from Mrs. Anders's cheeks. She mumbles about calling a repair service for the window and checking home insurance. The father reappears, carrying Lily, who clings to him with watery eyes. He thanks me for keeping her safe, though shock saturates his tone. I manage a grim smile, realizing my babysitting job is effectively done. But the sense of closure never arrives. My phone remains silent. The quiet pulses with unspoken threats. Mr. Anders gently sets Lily down, then turns to me. "Stay here until morning if you want. We'll sleep in our room with Lily. The cops are outside anyway." I consider it, but the thought of staying in this shattered space under the same roof, where I was hunted, feels unbearable. "I'll go home," I say, voice trembling. "It's late, but I need my own bed. My friend might pick me up." They nod, not pressing the issue. They know I've been through a nightmare. Mrs. Anders hands me an envelope of cash, her way of apologizing for the terror I endured. I accept it with a shaky thanks. Outside, the cruiser's lights illuminate the front yard. An officer steps out, sees me, and waves in recognition. "Heading home? We'll do a quick drive around if you like." I mumble that it's fine, aware that they can't babysit me forever. I'm also worried about this man's threat to release videos if I keep involving the authorities. But I cling to the hope that the presence of official cars might scare him off permanently. As I walk down the street, the crisp air stings my lungs. My phone buzzes. A text from Bryn. "OMG. Just saw your messages. You okay?" I exhale relief, texting back a simplified version. Long story. Stalker. Window got smashed. I'm safe now, going home. She replies she'll meet me in 5 minutes near the community park, a block away. Perfect. My nerves jangle as I stride down the quiet street, scanning the shadows under each decorative tree. This neighborhood prides itself on manicured lawns, but all I see are potential hiding spots. Within minutes, Bryn's beat-up sedan putters to the curb. I slip into the passenger seat, heart still hammering. She eyes me, alarmed. Jesus, Danny, you look like hell. What happened? Briefly, I outline the events, minus the more disturbing details about the black phone and the threat of video leaks. She curses under her breath. That's messed up. You should crash at my place tonight. No sense going back to your empty apartment. The thought of her cramped, messy studio normally makes me cringe, but right now, it sounds like a fortress of comfort. Yeah, I murmur. That might be good. Bryn starts the engine. As we roll away, I peer through the rear window, half expecting to see a dark figure trailing behind. All I see are streetlights and silent houses. No sign of him. But my pulse refuses to settle. He said he was there for me, not Lily. That means it's not over. Bryn's studio is a cluttered haven of mismatched furniture, secondhand art, and the aroma of takeout. The second we step inside, I collapse onto her thrifted sofa. She locks the door, then piles a chair in front of it for good measure. You want something to drink? She asks. I shake my head. I just need a moment to breathe. She nods, rummaging around until she digs up an ancient bottle of whiskey. She pours herself a shot and offers me one. I down it in a gulp, relishing the burn in my throat. Anything to fight the chill of terror lodged in my chest. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, Bryn says, settling beside me. That's some real serial killer grade stuff. I manage a half-hearted scoff. Thanks for the comfort. My sarcasm is subdued by sheer exhaustion. I stare at the ceiling, recalling each humiliating, horrifying detail. Bryn sets a hand on my shoulder. This isn't your fault. Sometimes psychos fixate on random people. You said you've gotten weird notes lately. Maybe that's when it started. You should definitely file a restraining order. I bark a hollow laugh. I don't even know his name or face, except for a brief glimpse of a hood and a grin. A restraining order is worthless if I can't identify him. She grimaces. Then maybe get a weapon. Something better than a steak knife. I rub my temple. I saw his eyes, Bryn. He's determined. This won't end with him scaring me off. He wants me rattled. Maybe he wants me dead. Bryn's face pales. She tries to mask her own fear with bravado. He messed with the wrong woman. We'll figure this out. Exhaustion weighs me down like wet cement. Eventually, I borrow one of Bryn's oversized t-shirts and attempt to sleep on her couch. My mind replays the intruder's grin, the phone videos, Lily's terrified sobs. About an hour later, I drift into a restless half-sleep. A noise jolts me awake, my phone's vibration. My blood nearly curdles until I see it's an unknown text from a different random number. No cops next time or else. Tremors seize my fingers. He found a new number to contact me. I swallow hard, fighting the urge to throw the phone across the room. Instead, I reply, "Stay away. I'll kill you if I see you again." No immediate response. I can't decide if that's comforting or worse. My eyes dart to Bryn, dozing in her recliner. She looks so peaceful. I can't drag her into this. He singled me out. She's just a bystander who offered shelter. The next few hours pass in anxious dozing, eyes snapping open at every creak from the old plumbing. Morning light filters through the blinds, and I feel a slight sense of relief. Darkness is his ally. Maybe daylight offers a temporary reprieve. Bryn stirs, yawning. Morning. You look like you slept even worse than I did. I grunt, checking. My phone, no new messages, no missed calls. My limbs feel heavy. I need to figure out what to do next. She nods. Why not stay here for a few days? That freak might know where you live. My stomach turns. Of course he does. He left notes on my car, which I park outside my apartment. But do I want to let him drive me from my own space? I fight a wave of helpless rage. I can't keep running forever. An idea hits me. Maybe I can check the times he texted or called, see if that helps. Or revisit the spot where I first found that note on my windshield. Maybe there's a security camera that caught him. Bryn shrugs. It's a long shot, but better than waiting for him to make the next move. We both know it's dangerous. But waiting around for him to strike again feels worse. I muster the last shreds of my courage, deciding I'll do whatever it takes to hunt this psycho down, or at least gather enough evidence to lock him away. I leave Bryn's around noon, ignoring her pleas to stay. I won't be reckless, I promise. I just need to stop at my apartment and see if anything's been tampered with. The drive over is fraught with tension. My eyes constantly flick to the rearview mirror, expecting a dark SUV or some tinted window sedan tailing me. Every time I spot a car behind me, my pulse spikes. But no one seems to follow long term. My apartment complex is a modest 2-story building with drab siding and a parking lot sporting more potholes than actual pavement. I park in my usual spot, scanning the vehicles around me. All are empty. Quiet. Tension hums as I climb the exterior stairs. No new notes on my windshield, at least. The front door is locked. Inside, everything appears exactly how I left it. A stale, faint odor of leftover pizza hits me. Relief. He's not here. I lock the door behind me, double-check the windows. My phone remains clutched in my hand, a lifeline. I exhale a slow breath. The gnawing question resurfaces. Why me? I decide to start rummaging through old texts, my social media, trying to see if I missed any warning signs, a weird friend request, a suspicious message. Hours pass with no revelations. Late afternoon creeps in. My phone stays silent. The lull gnaws at my nerves. I half wish he'd just say something, anything, so I can confront him or glean a clue. The not knowing is like a slow poison. A frantic knock on the door startles me. Knife in hand, I approach, but it's Bryn, face flushed. You said not to be reckless, but you're the one alone here, she snaps when I let her in. I couldn't reach you for hours. I check my phone. She did text me, twice. I was too busy scouring my social media to notice. Sorry, I mutter. No sign of him. She sets a small box on my kitchen counter, a cheap phone charger that might fit the black phone from last night. Figured we could see if it works. My heart lurches. We rush to the living room, plugging in the black phone. The screen eventually lights, prompting for a passcode. Damn it, Bryn hisses. We're locked out. I notice a smudge near the top corner of the screen, like an oil streak from a finger. My mind churns. On a whim, I tap a pattern lock in an L shape. Wrong. Another shape, a Z. Wrong again. After multiple attempts, the phone threatens a factory reset. Stop, Bryn says. We might lose everything. We slump, defeated, until the phone vibrates in my hand. To our shock, the lock screen disappears, replaced by a text from me. A direct intrusion, as if the phone is receiving a command. Check the video folder. I labeled it for you. The phone unlocks on its own. A new folder appears on the screen. Danny's fear. Goosebumps ripple across my arms. This is beyond twisted. He's controlling the phone remotely. Bryn, and I exchange a terrified glance. I open the folder. There are multiple video files. The first is the same footage from the Anders living room. Another clip shows me searching the upstairs hallway. A third displays me in my own apartment, from the vantage point of the window, I almost dropped the phone. My knees threatened to buckle. He's been in here? Filming me? Bryn's face goes ashen. This is insane. Are we sure it's your apartment? I skip through the footage. It clearly shows me in my bedroom, rummaging through drawers for clothes, the camera capturing me from behind like before. When was this taken? A fresh text pops on the screen. No name, no number. Don't ignore me, you belong to me, and we're not done. The floor seems to tilt under me. Bryn curses, grabbing my shoulder to steady me. We have to get the police involved again, deeper this time, she urges. He threatened to leak footage if I kept involving law enforcement, but this goes beyond blackmail. My safety, my sanity, is on the line. Let him do his worst. I dial 911 from my phone. I tell them everything. The operator listens as I describe the videos, the break-in, the phone that's being controlled remotely. An investigative unit is promised. They'll come soon, they say. Please preserve any evidence, they tell me. I end the call, sagging into Bryn's arms. Maybe this is how it ends. Months of investigation, me forever looking over my shoulder, haunted by the knowledge that a predator latched onto me for reasons I'll never understand. But as the phone battery drains, a final text arrives. I was going to let you live with the fear, but you had to ruin it with cops again. Now you'll see what real terror is. My heart clenches. Does he plan to escalate to outright violence? Or is this more psychological torment? Either way, I won't face it alone. The police are on their way, Bryn's here, and I'm done with secrets. 2 hours later, uniformed officers and a detective named Rodriguez fill my living room. They bag the black phone as evidence, scanning it for prints or remote access apps. They take my statement, Bryn's statement, promise to collect any relevant security footage from neighbors or my building's cameras. Rodriguez's eyes narrow as he reviews the Polaroids. We'll do everything we can to trace this, he says. He looks sincere, but a sheen of worry underlines his tone. This is advanced stalking behavior. He's had access to you for a while, it seems. I ask the question burning my soul. Why me? Rodriguez sighs. Stalkers don't always have logical motives. Sometimes they pick a target at random. Sometimes it's someone they've encountered briefly. We'll do what we can to find him. They leave close to midnight, but a police car stays parked outside my building. Bryn insists on staying the night again. I'm grateful beyond words. We order cheap pizza. We're both too anxious to eat much, but just having her there helps. Somewhere around 2 a.m., my phone buzzes with a new number, a text. They can't protect you all the time. I bite my lips so hard I taste blood. That's when the final piece of horror clicks into place. No matter what the police do, he might slip through the cracks. But I vow something then and there. I won't be his victim. The bright glare of a police cruiser's spotlight crosses my window, and for once, the intrusion feels comforting. I grab Bryn's hand, meeting her eyes. I'm not running anymore. If he comes, I'll be ready. The phone remains silent until dawn. In the days that follow, footage surfaces from a neighbor's doorbell camera. It shows me, face half hidden, in a hoodie, placing one of those envelopes on my own windshield weeks ago. Only the timestamp indicates I was asleep in my own bed at that time. The detective shares it with me, confusion etched on his face. I can't remember doing that. Yet there I am on the screen. The posture, the hair, clearly me. My mind reels. Was I manipulated, drugged, hypnotized? Did he force me somehow? One monstrous possibility emerges. He's not just stalking me. He's controlling me in ways I can't fathom, orchestrating a scenario where I appear complicit in my own terror. The lines between my memories and his intrusion blur. Am I an unwilling accomplice to my own nightmare? I leave the police station that day more terrified than ever. I have evidence he set me up. footage of me unwittingly playing into his plan. The why no longer matters as much as the horrifying revelation. He can make me do things while I'm unaware. I double lock my apartment that night, close my eyes, and sense him watching. Even if I flee across the country, he'll follow, because he's already under my skin, rewriting my reality. He's made sure I know one undeniable truth. I can't even trust myself. That knowledge is what truly destroys any illusion of safety. And that's the horror I'll carry long after I lock every door. The fear that the enemy might be inside me, wearing my face, playing the role he assigned. You made it to the end, but are you sure the story's over? Some things have a way of sticking with you, creeping back in when you least expect it. If you want more nightmares, there's another story waiting for you right here. But don't say I didn't warn you. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what would you have done differently? Or maybe the better question is, what would you do if this ever happened to you? Subscribe if you haven't already. Just don't blame me when you start sleeping with the lights on.